you're not giving up, and neither am I. The fact that we cannot save everything does not mean we cannot save anything, and everything we can save is worth saving. You may need to grieve or scream or take time off, but you have a role no matter what. And right now, good friends and good principles are worth gathering in. Remember what you love. Remember what loves you. Remember in this tide of hate what love is. You can be heartbroken or furious or both at once. You can scream in your car or on a cliff. You can also get up tomorrow and water the flower pots and call someone who's upset and check your equipment for going onward. A lot of us are going to come under direct attack, and a lot of us are going to resist by building solidarity and sanctuary. Gather up your resources, the metaphysical ones that are heart and soul and care, as well as the practical ones. People kept the faith in the dictatorship of South America in the 1970s and 1980s, in the East Bloc countries and the USSR. Women are protesting right now in Iran, and people there are writing poetry. There's no alternative to persevering, and that does not require you to feel good. You can keep walking whether it's sunny or raining. Take care of yourself. And remember that taking care of something else is as an important part of taking care of yourself, because you are interwoven with the 10 trillion things in this single garment of destiny that has been stained and torn, but is still being woven and mended and washed. There ends the reading. Praise and thanksgiving. The wheel of the year has turned again. Once more, the Thanksgiving season has arrived. Even the unchurched expresses thanks in some form on the fourth Thursday in November. But who are you giving thanks to? And what is the power of praise and thanksgiving? Moreover, what is the relationship between thanksgiving and praise? Praise is expressing our admiration for the universe or whatever deity or God of your own understanding. And thanksgiving, the word is from the same root as the word think. Thanksgiving is being grateful to that deity for all the good that one has in life. Now, it's not to say that the actual day that's set aside for giving thanks is the only time we actually give thanks, but it's a specific day set aside for the entire nation to focus on inviting the holy in to express gratitude. When we heard the story about the first Thanksgiving and with the native people and the colonists, we were never told that in New England and Canada, colonists regularly observed days of prayer, Thanksgiving, if you will, for blessings as safe journey, military victories, or abundant harvests. And our American holiday is modeled on just one particular harvest feast shared between the Wampanoag people and the colonists. Marcus Garvey informed that a people without the knowledge of their past history, origin, and culture is like a tree without roots. Therefore, I would be remiss if I failed to say that the mythos attached to that fateful day that most Americans observe as a day of thanks, many Native people rightfully mark the holiday with mourning and with tributes to the people who were nearly wiped out by imperialism. This all conveys into the history of this country that remains present and impossible to escape. However, the practice of praise and thanksgiving doesn't have to be relegated to 1 out of 365 days. The art of thanksgiving can be consistent, genuine, year-round thankfulness in all things good. I grew up in a multi-generational household with my great-grandmother as the matriarch, and giving thanks was the way she began each day. Moreover, along with meditation and daily affirmations, it's a practice that I have continued throughout my life. Thankful for the breath of life. Sometimes we think of gratitude as a spontaneous eruption of emotion that occurs when something really good happens to us. But gratitude is more than that. It's a discipline. Something you make yourself do to bend your life in the right direction. Just think about something that you may have received as a gift from someone. No special occasion, just because they saw a scarf or a mug that reminded them of you. And every time you use it, your heart opens. You're grateful for that individual being a part of your life. Gratitude reorients us spiritually. It grounds us in the present, because when we are thankful for what we have, we aren't looking forward with a half-empty consciousness. When we look at our lives with half-empty consciousness, we perceive a lack and believe that the other half of what we want is missing. But in this perception, we are coming from a position of expectation and entitlement. On the other hand, when we look at our lives as half full, we perceive fullness. It's as if we're able to recognize that our cup could be fully empty. Therefore, we're grateful for what we see as bounty, not something that we expect or believe that we are owed. We're able to count our blessings and see all of what we do have. This doesn't mean that we won't or shouldn't seek more, but we'll seek from a place of fullness rather than from a place of lack. This fullness draws positive energy into our lives and often attracts more abundance. Just try imagining your life as an empty glass. This is your life without all of the people you know, the work that you do, your home, or your current state of physical well-being. This is just an empty, open space waiting to be filled. Once you have that feeling of openness in your mind, begin filling it with all the people, things, and places that make up your life. That's what is asked of us when we go around the Thanksgiving table, to verbalize whatever it is that we are grateful for. As we reflect on that something, you may be surprised to find your glass overflowing. We are thankful in our prayers and meditations. Our focus turns away from ourselves and to the goodness that fills our lives, and our hearts are stirred with joy. Now, Swift Walker advises that we start with the people we love and those who love us. Thankful they are in our lives, obliging us to open our hearts. Let open hearts embrace the earth, the sea, and soil, and stars, blessed by bold beauty, the bounty of being. Then, with hearts open to beauty, let us embrace the arts and the generation of learning that we should have wisdom. Let what wisdom we have, want and wanting, lead us to strive so the seventh generation can live more fully. It is in the work, and that alone, that we can express our thankful spirit. All that we have is a gift from life: our food, our relationships, our shelter from the cold. And when we give thanks, it is always good to be mindful of all people and notice those who are suffering and do what we can to ease suffering and change its causes. Open up and allow yourself to be grateful for the simplest thing that life has to offer, opening the way for things that we've never dreamed of. Now, psychology acknowledges the positive benefits of a grateful heart. There are volumes of books, research projects, and journal articles written on this. Grateful people are more positive, mentally healthy, and emotionally balanced. Some studies call gratitude positive noticing because gratitude focuses our attention on the positive. In her book, The Hiding Place, Corrie ten Boom tells about an incident that taught her the principle of giving thanks in all things. It was during World War II. Corrie and her sister Betsy had been harboring Jewish people in their home, so they were arrested and imprisoned at Ravensbrück camp. The barracks were extremely crowded and infested with fleas. One morning they read in their tattered Bible from 1 Thessalonians, the reminder to rejoice in all things. Betsy said, "Corrie, we've got to give thanks for this barrack and even for these fleas." Corrie replied, "No way am I going to thank God for fleas." But Betsy was persuasive, and they did thank God for the fleas. During the month that followed, they found that their barracks were left relatively unsupervised, and they could do Bible study, talk openly, and even pray in the barracks. It was their only place of refuge. Several months later, they learned that the reason the guards never entered the barracks was because of those blasted fleas. I realized that at this time, with so much loss through death and love of loved ones and high hopes for a different outcome in this election, it can be challenging to enter into a mode of praise and thanksgiving. But it's always good to give thanks. As someone great once said, now is the time to find the good and praise it. In spite of the grief you're experiencing over the election, there is some good to praise. Keturah Herron was just elected as the first out LGBTQ person of color elected to the Kentucky State Senate. Rashawn Kemp is the first out gay black man to be elected to the Georgia State Legislature. Sarah McBride has been elected to the U.S. House of Representatives, making her the first ever out trans member of the United States Congress. Gabby Salinas is the first out LGBTQ woman and the first Latina person to be elected to the Tennessee State Legislature. Molly Cook is the first out LGBTQ member of the Texas Senate. Cook won re-election to her position as the senator for District 15 near Houston. Julie Johnson will be the first out LGBTQ person to represent Texas and the South in Congress. Amy Wichendall already set a precedent as the first out trans elected official in Iowa. With her election to the Iowa House of Representatives on Tuesday night, the Democratic official will become the first openly trans person in the state legislature. Former community organizer Emily Randall, who became one of the first out lesbians in the Washington State Senate after she was elected in 2019, will now make history as the federal level as the first openly LGBTQ Latina member of Congress. And for the first time In over 200 years, 2 black women have been elected to Congress's upper chambers at the same time. Delaware Representative Lisa Blunt Rochester secured the seat vacated by Democratic Senator Tom Carper. Meanwhile, Prince George's County Executive Angela Alsbrook triumphed over former Governor Larry Hogan in Maryland. So, praise the good. Each of us will be grateful and express gratitude in differing ways this Thanksgiving. Gathering in our separate families, each with our own distinct recipes, customs, and traditions. My family even celebrates my birthday because it falls right at the Thanksgiving holiday. So now let's whisper here in this moment, thank you for all that is good in our lives. And now, may we shout thank you. For the abundance of blessings. May we feel thank you deep within our hearts and around us right now. May we be thankful down to our bones for this time together. May we take this time to nurture each other, take care of each other, appreciate and trust each other, and say thank you. It's the only prayer we'll ever need. From my heart to yours, may it be so.